My name is Maxwell. I'm a proud father of two teenagers who keep my fridge humming as if it's threatening retirement every time they loiter in front of it with the door open. I have 24 years left on my mortgage, and it's theirs if they don't eat me out of a house and home first. But I know a couple of guys who've been laid off recently, and I'm grateful my bills are paid up. However, lately I've been feeling the drain on my wallet. I've never had money to throw around, and my stubborn streak won't let me drop my hard-earned $200 on lottery tickets with nothing to show for it if I lost. I needed something that lasts, not a get-rich-quick scheme. So I made a plan. 6 months, small steps, smart moves. My first month, the setup. I'm splitting my $200 like this. 100 will go into a high-yield savings account I opened at my bank. This is my emergency buffer. I need liquidity, something I can tap into if the car breaks down or the water heater finally gives up. I put $50 into a dividend stock through my employee equity plan. I chose an ETF that tracks essential sectors like utilities, healthcare, or consumer staples, because these types of companies don't vanish in recessions, and they pay dividends too, even when the market's moody. Then I chose to put $50 into a gold ETF. It's not physical gold, just fractional shares that I can buy monthly. It's my hedge against this crazy economy. If the dollar weakens or inflation spikes, gold tends to hold its ground. I invested in myself and found a free course online so I could teach myself bookkeeping. I figured that if I learned a new skill, I might be able to create a new stream of income. I just had to stay on course through to completion and then apply what I learned in the real world. My risk assessment so far: savings, low risk, and definitely in my comfort zone. It took me a minute to figure out the website, but my choice of dividend ETF was a moderate and diversified risk. And the gold ETF is a moderate risk too, but a good hedge I can live with. Educating myself turned out to be a high reward and low financial risk. The second and third months were consistency over drama, and I managed to keep the $200 allocations for both months. No chasing crypto. No high-risk stocks to constantly watch. Just steady monthly deposits to my accounts. I started practicing what I learned about bookkeeping by offering free help to a friend with a startup small business. She asked me if I'd manage her books part-time, at a discount. That was unexpected, but an income stream I was glad to achieve. My risk assessment update so far. My ETF value dipped slightly, but its dividends came in. My gold held steady. My self-education investment with bookkeeping was already paying off. The fourth month. Rebalancing. I had invested $300 in ETFs and deposited $300 into savings. I felt more confident and resilient with my investing strategy, so I adjusted my money allocations. Instead of $100, I put $25 into my savings account and increased my ETF deposit to $75. The $50 deposit to my gold ETF remained the same. I put my last $50 into a real estate investment trust for a total of $200 deposited for the fourth month. I'm glad I increased my healthcare ETF that focused on medical facilities. Because recession or not, people will always want to live a healthy lifestyle. My overall risk assessment thus far. My new REIT investment. A moderate risk, but beats big dreams of winning big and losing it all after you wake up. My choice of ETFs and their diversification has been a learning experience I'm glad I stuck with. Saving isn't as hard as I thought, and I downloaded my bank's free budgeting app to track my spending. Turns out I was leaking money on subscriptions I forgot I had. I quickly canceled them. My 6th month was monumental. By now I'd invested $1,200 total. My portfolio wasn't flashy, but it was stable. I'd earned about $2 in dividends, not much, but it proved the system worked. More importantly, my friend had become a paying client, and my bookkeeping skills were a great investment in myself and my wallet. It turned into a $200 a month side hustle. I'm gonna use part of that new income stream to increase my monthly contributions in the future. I like watching my money grow. What I learned is that recessions reward patience when everyone's panicking. I stayed calm and consistent, and I built while others retreated. I also learned small money can do big things. For me, it wasn't about the amount, it was about the habit. Investing in myself proved recession-proof. And my learned skills compounded faster than my stocks, but that's not a bad thing. My final portfolio snapshot. Assets, risk level, and total invested for the past 6 months is as follows. My savings account is low risk, accessible, and earns modest interest. Total $375. My dividend stock total is $375. It's a moderate risk that paid me a small dividend this quarter. My gold ETF had moderate risk and held its value against inflation, total $300. And finally, my healthcare REIT had moderate risk as well. It's stable at $150. My skill investment in the online bookkeeping course was well worth my time. My hungry teens don't know it, but they're thankful. It's generated $600 in the last 3 months. I didn't become wealthy. I became resilient by not losing it all on the lottery. And in a tough economy, that's the real win. Hard times can be painful, but there are also moments of recalibration, especially when fear spikes as prices increase across many industries. I found out if you're prepared, that's when wealth quietly changes hands with or without you. If I want to gamble a buck or two, that's okay, but I decided money in the bank is what's best for me now. My goal wasn't to beat the market or win $1 million. It was to position myself for long-term strength in a system that's designed to beat me down after I could have lost what little I saved. So, I've learned that even small amounts can grow into something meaningful when guided by consistent, intentional habits. I still have big hopes, big dreams, but I dropped the lottery and invested my money and won.